Hey, it's Sandra, and welcome to Fishbowl Roulette. Fishbowl Roulette, for those of you who are just brand new, well, we're just going to be here. We talk to our guests. Today I've got Shelby, who happens to be my bartender, but we'll get around to that. And it's just random conversation. I don't know. It's just real. I wanted to do something where we just had people in the moment talking about their beliefs, their experiences, the things that led them to being them. As always, nobody has to have an agenda. We're not selling anything, at least right now. Today, I don't think, Shelby, you're not trying to sell anything today, are you?
No.
Not today?
Not today. Not until the end of the episode. That's where you plug everything.
That's exactly right. $9.99 for this Ginsu knife set. Anyway, so Shelby is originally from Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. She has been in the food and beverage service for like 13 years.
Yes, ma'am.
She loves to garden.
I do.
And you've got 2 children.
Yep.
You have what I would call an unconventional setup in life, in that you have a life partner you're raising your youngest with.
Yes.
But not a romantic partner.
No.
But he is the father, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm so intrigued by it, just because of the ripple patterns of like how life is. And, we're not necessarily here to talk about that, but I've just always thought, like, good for you for making the decision that was best for your kid, and he's your best friend, I think I've heard you say.
Yeah. No, we fell into the circumstance, like, kind of, accidentally. I think I've talked to you before, like, we broke up when our son was about 2 years old, and then COVID hit, and we were living in 2 separate homes, and it just kind of became this thing where we didn't want to pass our son back and forth because nobody knew what was happening. And so he moved back in as like someone, his father, someone to like kind of help me. And it ended up being a situation where it was like, wow, this actually just works out as us being his parents without necessarily being together. So it is like unconventional, but it really just, it works. And it's kind of nice to like live in a household with someone where like the only expectations are like, we respect each other as like parents that are raising him and as friends, but we also have, our own different lives, essentially.
Yeah. This is going to sound like a joke, and I guess it kind of is. There's a lot of people married who they're doing that too. It's just not, they're not talking about it that way.
Yeah.
Right? The romance is not there anymore.
Yeah.
But they're still doing that thing. So, yeah, I think kudos to you guys for if it's working.
And it is kind of weird because then you have to like explain to people like, no, we're not together, but it's almost like that weird equivalent of like we're staying together for the kid, but we actually really do like each other.
Yeah.
There's just not the pressure of like a romantic relationship behind it.
Well, you actively chose it.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference, right? Like you
Yeah.
actively chose to just be engaged in that. And
Yeah, for sure. And it works. And it's, I'm not going to say that it's like harmonious all the time because we're still 2 people that have different thoughts and, our controversies. But for the most part, it's just been honestly like probably the best thing for all of us because we have support systems in each other, and with Gilbert, and he understands it in a way that like Gilbert is my son, the youngest son, for those who don't know, but we understand it in a way where it's like he knows that we love each other and we care about each other. But like the other day he and I were talking about like when Grant and I dated, and Gilbert was like, ew, you guys dated? So, it's kind of
Isn't
strange.
that funny?
It is. It's kind of strange and unconventional, and like I've had to answer a lot of questions from people about it, which I don't necessarily mind because, I think that people see one family unit a lot of times, and it's weird when that unit strays into something different. But like, like they are my family, and I almost in a way, like especially with Grant, it's more than just like a blood family because like we did choose each other. We did choose to stay in each other's lives and take care of each other, and be there for our son, but also like as a support system, as parents and friends and all that.
Yeah, I think that's very well thought out.
Yeah.
Well spoken too.
Yeah.
So
it hasn't been without its, trouble, but
my relationships have all been perfect. I've never not been in harmony.
I can't imagine.
Right?
I'm so envious.
Yeah, that's just a big lie. I don't even think it's possible. If you're a human and you're in a relationship with somebody else,
Yeah.
there's going to be friction.
Oh, for sure.
And you could still want to like give your life for that person. I mean, even with your kid, there's friction, right?
Yeah. Yes,
And
definitely.
you grew them. They are your DNA.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know. Sometimes that's what I'm.
Oh, it's
like.
it's a big problem, but that's
Too much.
That's its own
Too much
thing.
like it is its own thing. Okay. Do you want to dive into a fishbowl?
I would love to.
All right. So you see the labels. Mm-hmm. You get one pass.
Okay.
If you just pick one and you're like you don't want to answer it.
Oh, challenge me. I love it.
Ooh, well,
I'm all about
the
it.
warning bowl is new.
That's the one I'm looking at right now.
Okay, I knew it. Okay, I'm so excited.
All right.
All right, pop
Lay
the
it on.
lid and pull it out.
Oh, I get to
and
do it?
You get to do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is self-service, babe. I don't know if I know you see the layout here.
Oh, wait,
but this
am I
is not high
asking you
dollar.
or you're asking me?
Oh no, this is your question.
If you had to publicly defend the political figure you dislike most, what is the strongest argument you could make?
Oh no. Oh no.
Do I have to say which political figure it is?
I
or-
mean, I already know which political figure. At least I think I know, but you do what you're comfortable with. Maybe we'll be able to figure it out with the
I
argument.
would say it's incredible that they can still stand behind a podium. Like, whatever they're pumping in them, it's incredible.
You mean physically or morally?
Whatever's keeping him upright, I guess. I don't know what else to say.
Clue number one. She said him.
Shit. I was trying to be really subtle with my pronouns. but
Hey, it's all right. So
There's a lot of male politicians, though. I just want to put that out
there
there.
there are definitely more male politicians than there are
See?
female.
Exactly.
No question.
You know?
Yeah, it's funny. I saw that question and I was like, I mean, because we're so divided in today's world that it's
Yeah.
hard to see any positive if they're not your person. And that's just where we're at.
Right.
I mean, the whole country is pretty divided at this point. You know, you're
Yeah.
either right or you're wrong, and there's just nothing in between.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of an interesting question.
I think so. I think so, too. And
I'm not even sure I have a politician that I despise anymore because I've just given up.
I think I just dislike all of them. And
Fair.
either side of the aisle at this point. I think that the strongest people right now are currently the ones who are in, like maybe media a little bit more, and people who are in like the lower rungs of politics who are trying to make a real difference within their communities. I feel like those are the people that right now, like I don't really respect any high-ranking politician because I think that they all take money one way or the other. That's my hot take, but I truly think that people who are on the lower rungs of the political ladder that are trying to make differences in like the small communities that they represent are really the ones that like should be respected and, you know, promoted by the people that they support. So
Yeah, I think that's where I think you can make the most difference. B, I feel like you have an opportunity as a citizen to know those people and not
Yeah.
just judge them by the 30 seconds of time that they're on the air and
yeah,
you're hearing all the things. And I'm at this stage of life where I'm like, I don't know if I didn't see it anymore. I'm not even sure it happened.
yeah,
But,
yeah, for sure.
Like, this is totally off topic, but it's on my brain. Have you ever seen the movie Wag the Dog?
No, but we did talk about.
Okay,
that
you've
a
got to
little
go
bit
see
at
it.
the bar the other day.
You've got to not go see it. You're
Okay.
going to have to. It's like from, I don't even know, 1992 or something. But
Very good here.
it's a fake war.
Yeah.
It's a fake war. And the president sets up this whole thing to go and get back this airman who's been shot down behind enemy lines, and he'd do all the stuff to keep him alive. And first of all, to anybody who's listening, I am not suggesting that these wars are fake. I'm just simply saying, I don't know, why do we keep having them? But anyway, I was reading this article about how he got saved, right? And I'm thrilled that he got saved. So but it literally made me think of Wag the Dog because of how it sounded, because it was so dramatic and I'm sure that it was, but sometimes I just go like, whoa, where are we?
My favorite conspiracy theory is that
I should have that as a fishbowl.
Hollywood knows a lot of things ahead of time
I mean, South Park doesn't just happen.
because of like connections that are made there, because it's, people with money, people with connections, people
Yeah.
who know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't think it's like a crazy like tinfoil hat conspiracy. I think it's pretty, like
Right.
if you put two and two together, it kind of makes sense. But I think people just there are people in the upper echelon that know
Who kinda know.
who know what's going to happen.
I know. I
And
go
we're
back
just-
and forth, man. I go back and forth. I mean, it's not like I definitely believe that there's conspiracies that are out there, but then I start thinking about the amount of people that would have to pull off something like the no moon landing conspiracy, and I'm like, how
But
many?
look at the things that people like just read on the internet and believe. Like
True.
people are pretty gullible, and people are
It's
also
true.
kind of lazy where they don't want to like
Oh,
see
sound bites. Yeah.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Or which I get it. It's exhausting to look something up on Google, but
It really.
sometimes
I mean, it's almost like
need to take-
it's almost like hoeing the potatoes in the field so I could
God,
eat.
I know you need to take that extra step.
Yeah. You
Even
do.
if I get it, you're laying in bed, but
Yeah, just maybe
it up.
try to read
Look it
3
up.
articles about the same thing.
Look
I
it
know.
up.
Okay, that's strayed way off topic. But also, this was our very first political discussion.
Oh, wow.
Because most people are not willing to go. They just don't want to go there. And I get it because it's off-putting to a lot of people. But
It
I'm
is.
also not interested in I'm not interested, but I don't care how you voted. I'm like, your opinion is your opinion, my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
let's just.
I think that these conversations need to be had, but I think it's hard because on whatever end of the spectrum you're on, it is like really, and I mean politically and not autistically, but like you need to like have a conversation that's calm and like you're willing at the very least to sit and hear what someone else has to say regardless of whether they're right or wrong, because you're never going to convince somebody by losing your shit. You're never going to convince
Very
somebody
true.
by yelling your point in their face.
Yeah.
And I especially like I think that some people like do need that gentle approach where it's like, hey, I'm not going to point in your face and tell you you're wrong, but like let's talk about the facts and why you may be persuaded to change your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's probably not going to happen on the internet either. Like,
No.
that's the other thing is social media.
No,
I'm
it's
just
really
like,
easy to hide behind a
every now and then
profile.
I'll get sucked into something, but I'm just like, and I've just decided if I want to express myself, I'll express myself. I'm not expecting, and I'm not going to engage. I don't engage into like a fight. That's not,
For
I
sure.
don't, I'm not interested in that. But
Yeah.
I will say, I am going to go on the record and tell you that I was my grandfather's only granddaughter. He loved me when I was born. He had a sign put out of his house that said, "Welcome, Miss America, 1988." Yeah,
Oh
he
my
loved me.
I love
He
that.
called me one day and was talking to me and asked me if I thought Bill Clinton was a crook, and I said yes, and he hung up on me. So
I mean, I grew up in like dairy farm, like Southern America, and it was very much like that type of thing too. It's like you stick to one guy, and that's just how it is, and it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
he's done. He's also done this thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've
we used to have a saying around. I don't think it's so much anymore, but for the Democrats, I don't know what they call the Republicans, but it was yellow dog Democrats, right? Like a yellow dog. Like you kick a yellow dog, man, they just come back around. They are not deviating.
I don't think the Democratic Party has changed. I'm going to be honest. And this is
I will tell you, I think the Republican Party has changed.
Not like it's a shock, but I like associate myself on the left. But like I don't think the Democrat. Yeah, no, that's
It's still yellow
yep,
dogs.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
for sure.
Oh
I
gosh.
agree.
Oh my gosh. So thank you so much for going there. I can't wait to see what comes out next.
Oh God. Okay. Well, all right. So we did
Warning.
warning. All right. I guess I need to cool it down a little bit. Let's do hot topics.
Get in there, sister.
All right. Lean under my mic.
I probably need to freshen the hot topic bowl.
I'm scared.
We keep talking about adding sound effects.
You should.
Fear factor.
Most controversial opinion.
This ought to be good
Man, that's tough.
because you have so many.
Yeah. I'm constantly trying to just rail against everything. Okay, all right. My most controversial opinion, I think especially as someone who works in the industry in North America, and this isn't a slight to anyone who owns a bar or restaurant, but we shouldn't have to rely on tips to be able to make a living wage.
Yeah.
I think that's because tipping culture is so very much like an American thing.
I was going to say, we're one of the few cultures that do it, right?
Yeah. And like, look, don't get me wrong. I'll bend over backwards for a $10 tip sometimes. Like, I get it. But like, it's one of those things where like one thing goes wrong and a $400 tab can turn into nothing. So it's like you have to really play it up a lot of times in order to make sure that you're not going to have a shitty night at work. And I think because of that, a lot of people who work in the industry, especially like front of house,
Yeah.
have a lot of mental health problems because we have to put
Okay.
on a big show all the time, because if we don't, that's like what our living relies on.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're getting paid for hosting,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
you're hosting the party, you're hosting the good time, you're
And,
making sure
yeah.
the stuff is like refilled at the time and you're paying attention. And,
Right.
I mean, I could never be a bartender. There's no shot because
Yeah.
a squirrel brain would take me someplace and I'd be like, wait,
Oh,
what
mine
was I
does
doing?
sometimes.
But
I have to get called back to reality a lot.
Shelby,
Hey, my drink's been sitting empty for 15 minutes.
I've never seen you do that.
No, but it's just one of those things where it's like, don't get me wrong, like I am a friendly and social person, and that's partially why I do what I'm doing. But like, you have to be like the man for every man when you're behind the bar. You know what I mean? Like, you wait on people you know. You wait on people you don't know. You wait on people who are in a good mood. You wait on people who are in a bad mood. Like you
don't know.
you never know what you're going to get, and you have to kind of like shift your personality around like the people that you're serving.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I feel a little bit like it's like a work hazard almost. You know what I mean?
Like a little chameleon situation, or
Kind of. It's just like it's a lot of emotional effort
yeah,
in order to make sure that whoever you're taking care of doesn't think that you're a piece of shit, or who they don't like think that you're upset, or they like, you know, you can't have a bad day behind the bar because like you've got to
right.
keep up that whole personality like a lot of times. And again, like I love bartending, and most of the days that I am there, it's really good, but sometimes it just gets like taxing because like I know even if I'm not feeling up to it, I have to pretend I am. And then when I come across people who like just don't like are having none of it, I'm like, man, we can't both be having bad days.
Someone's got to be happy.
Someone has to be keeping up the morale, and right now I don't want to be that guy. But no, I think that we've gotten to this point where like it's so hard to like pay a server a living wage because of the way that we view the restaurant industry. And it's like it just encompasses like all of it. It encompasses like owners and management and the people that we buy our food from and our booze from. It's just like we've made the model, we've made it so it only gets, so that people who work front of house only get held up by the people who are coming in and sitting at the bar or sitting at the table. And I'm not saying that like everyone should stop tipping so that we can make a minimum wage or a, you know, a livable wage.
Unfortunately, I doubt it would work like that.
But I think that as someone who, like I said, works in the restaurant industry and the bar industry, that's my controversial opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually shed a lot of light on things.
Yeah.
It is, because we don't think as customers, like we're just coming in and, you know, if we want to banter, if our group's not there, even if they are there, we want to, you know, or if someone's coming in from a funeral. I mean, you know, you just get such a mix, and you're pouring into every individual on some level.
And I think that's why I say, like, I don't think like the working in a restaurant is like necessarily for everyone, because it does take a certain type of personality to be able to like, you know, be able to like go the whole night and maintain and like make sure that the people sitting on the other side of the bar like feel good and feel special and like feel seen and their needs are met and all those other type of things. And it also like teaches you though how to manage different personality types, like unlike anything else, because you have to like, you know, like I see y'all in your group and we're fun and we're all kind of friends. And so it's like a little chit chat, like we get drinks and we talk, but then like I could have like a couple come and sit at the bar and they're fighting.
Right.
And they're trying to get me like involved in the middle of their little tiff. And I have to like kind of play both sides because like, you know.
You don't know who's paying. I'm just kidding.
No, but like seriously, kind of a little bit.
Right.
But also because it's like, it's just like such a weird thing that you can get thrown into the middle of like working behind the bar. So there's just a lot of things that you have to go up and down, and I don't know.
I told you.
I think the restaurant industry should be turned over on its head in a way where like, we don't have to rely on being actors, for certain people in order to get paid.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Also, I told you about the bartender podcast idea I have. It's called 3 Drinks In.
Love it.
And it's by bartender and for bartenders, maybe. Except that you'd have to do almost like fake voices because
are you 3 drinks in?
I'm
before
3 drinks
you start?
in. Yeah, 3 drinks in. Because people, it's like all the stories, all the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, bartenders hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I shudder to think about
It's
post-divorce, about post-divorce years.
It's weird too because
it's-
people will
ugh.
talk about anything, and it's like I'm literally standing right here.
Right.
Like you're sitting at my well where I make drinks, and you're talking about like your affair. It's like, oh, okay.
This warning.
I don't know
warning
your
to the
husband, but that's
listeners.
weird.
Yeah, no, it happens.
It's just very strange.
No, it does. I've heard that from multiple bartenders. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, and it's like I get that I'm standing.
It's like a
behind
weird,
bar, but
confessional.
yes.
Like a weird confessional.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we have time for just one more question.
Oh my gosh, we've been chit chatting so much.
Well,
All
that's
right.
the whole point of it.
You pick.
Ooh, yeah, let's go beliefs.
Okay.
Here, nope, can't put them back in, silly.
Oh, oops.
Corrected. Here, I'll just pull it out and ask.
Okay.
Okay. When does sexual desire become irrelevant? Or does it?
Oh man, it's a big question. Can we narrow that down and say like in a relationship, or do we just mean like?
I think you could read that 2 different ways. So you read it however you want. You could read it as when does my own sexual desire become irrelevant, or when does being sexually desired become irrelevant?
Oh.
If it does.
Oh, well.
For me,
okay.
neither of those become irrelevant.
The first thing is my sexual desire becomes irrelevant if I realize that anytime I have been with someone, if I'm not fulfilled in any other way but sexually, that it doesn't really...
It doesn't
mean anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. And that's like something that I've also had to get over with like relationships and things like that, is because like a lot of times I have just wanted to be with someone because it's like, I need to get what's mine. But at some point, like you have to think about like what truly makes you your own person. And if like being in a relationship is only a pursuit of like feeling some fulfillment of being with another person, then I think that is when it becomes irrelevant. Because I'm perfectly fine with like, I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm okay with being with myself, and I like being with myself, because I would rather skip over the whole relationship if I'm only being fulfilled in one way. Like I would rather like do my own thing than have like that type of a relationship with someone.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, huh? I have a theory.
Okay.
My theory is there's a wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and to keep, and I'm going to use traditional gender roles. You all apply them however you want. In general, I think feminine energy, females want intimacy,
Mm-hmm.
and then great sex.
Mm-hmm.
Men will have great sex to get the intimacy,
Yeah.
or
Fair.
just semi-sex. I don't know, but I think if you're in a relationship and you can keep that wheel going,
Yeah.
I personally believe that like sexual desire is like a gift and a part of our power, and our vitality. And my friends are probably tired of hearing me say this, but I really do believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to your point, it's not. That's one dimension.
Yeah, I think that we've been societally like caught up in sexual desire being like an end all be all, whether it's like fulfillment within ourselves or within a relationship. And I think it's just one of those things that we have to kind of unlearn, because there's like our culture right now is inherently like very sexual.
Oh, yeah.
And it's to the point where, like, you know, women are saying like, this is liberating for me, and it's like, okay, maybe that is, but like we've allowed ourselves to go like so far that it's become
Yeah.
like such an important thing that we're not looking at like what is truly and really fulfilling. And I'm not judging anyone for like any of their sexual choices or what they do with their bodies or anything like that, but I think that we have been taught to like value our sexuality and what we can get sexually so much that it has kind of overshadowed like what it truly means to, you know,
Yeah.
be intimate or
I would agree with that
or
for
be
sure.
just a person on your
Yeah.
own. So I don't know. I think that as a society we need to re-examine what sexual like freedom really is and what it means to be like a sexual individual in and of your own self, and not having to like look for some outward sources to like
Get that
find what that
validation.
means or get that validation. Yeah, absolutely.
I actually just saw something today that Gary Vaynerchuk, like, I don't know if you know him or follow him or anything. He's an interesting soul, but he's kind of one of the original influencers, but he actually had built like $1 million companies and stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, he basically was like, don't seek validation, positive or negative, because you can get addicted to both, and then that makes you vulnerable to both.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's really good perspective. And so listening to you say that, I'm like, yeah, like I am my most powerful when I'm the most turned on by me, you know, as a person.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that applies to humanity as a whole. Like, you are your strongest power source, but it's also like it's the hardest source to get your power from, because we are taught to look for external validation. So instead of just relying on our what our heart says or our inner thoughts or what it truly means to be us, we're constantly like seeking it from somebody else. And that sucks, and it's hard, and it's, you know, I'm not saying this because I'm like I've gone beyond all of this. I'm saying this because it's like something I still have to remind myself of constantly on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, as far as I can tell, that's just living.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Here's my Achilles heel. I've gotten a little better.
I'm trying.
Still nick it occasionally,
I'm trying, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I feel really bad because I'm a bad host and I don't have the lightning round for you.
It's okay.
So before we sign off, you did mention that you love to make banana bread.
I do.
Do you have a recipe that you would be willing to share?
Well,
I know this is a little unconventional.
I mean, it's a little bit detailed, but I will say, like, you got to wait until those bananas are like brown, like pure sugar in
Like
the
brown.
peel. Yeah, like putting them in the freezer, it makes the process happen a lot faster. And then you thaw them out, and they're slimy and gross.
That's what you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So not a recipe, but the key.
Yeah. Also, put some chocolate chips in there. Like, let's get real.
I mean,
Like, everyone's like, I'm gonna put a bunch of walnuts in it. It's like, come on, let's get real. Put some chocolate chips in there.
I want a chocolate chip in everything. Walnut is fine, but a chocolate chip makes everything better. And if you serve me a
I'm not going to
cookie,
pretend because I'm an adult that I have to start liking nuts. I
No.
want chocolate chips.
yeah, I mean, walnuts and chocolate chips, maybe okay, but like, yeah, chocolate chips.
Yeah, not one or the other, both or chocolate chips.
Yeah, and please no raisin cookies. That's wrong too.
No, again, that's not a trademark of being an adult. And people are suddenly like, I love oatmeal raisin cookies. I'm like, you're lying.
Liars. Liars. Just kidding. Sort of. Well, thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me. This is really fun.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
You know, Fishbowl Roulette, if you like it, you hear something you want to share with somebody, give us a follow, give us a review, and just keep turning back up. We've got a good guest lineup coming, and I don't know, I have fun doing these, so I hope you guys have fun listening. Thanks for listening.